Hey guys, sorry I'm running a little bit late this morning. Just 2 minutes late. That's actually pretty good for me. Let's touch up this appearance. That doesn't look, there we go. That looks a lot better. Took 10 years off, right? All right, guys. All right, let's see how everything's going this morning. Did you guys watch my video? I have a really good video that's out, or I don't know if it's really good, but I worked really hard on it. I was up late, and anyway, couldn't quite get to finish last night, so I woke up at 6 o'clock this morning and finished it and loaded it. Anyway, if you haven't seen it, I would appreciate it if you watch and let me know what you think. It's about two new ETFs called Q Down and Q Up, and they're similar to TQQQ and SQQQ. If you know about those funds or like those funds, they're a kind of a newfangled version of that, possibly a better version of that. So, all right, guys, let's see what the market's doing. All right, now we are at the dip buy. Look, this is a perfect dip buy. This I've been looking at this for a dip buy. As soon as I get out of here, I'm going to buy the dip. But if I was going to buy the dip, also which I am, I would do it in two parts. Here's the first. I think now is a great time. Go out a week and get a call that's whatever the market maker expected move up is, something like that. Easy peasy, right? But I'm only going to spend half the money I have allocated to buy the dip, because I would also like to buy 55.43 if it gets there. So I'm going to spend half now, half later, and or half if it gets there. If it never gets there, that's fine. But whatever, we'll see what happens. But it's ready for a dip buy, and I haven't bought a dip in forever. I'm so ready to do this. All right, well, like I say, it could definitely slip further. It just so happens it's right on this trend line I drew also, which anyway, just for whatever that's worth, perfect dip buy. If nothing else, on a volume profile thing, you see how this is a low volume? That's usually where the market turns, or it either turns or it slides straight through it and melts down. I mean, there's not, it doesn't usually get stuck there. So a lot of people use those areas for turning spots, and use the high volume nodes for places where it gets stuck and trades at. For instance, if it bounced today, we might expect it to bounce back up to the high volume node, 56, 67, or somewhere up there. Anyway, all right, let's see what else is going on. Let's look at a little SPY action. Now, SPY is right at this high volume node. They pulled back because of the gap. They pulled back right to it, and they're at the prime dip buying spot. And of course, I'm going to buy the dip in the SPY, not the ES. I guess I could use the ES because I have Tasty Trade, but I was going to use the SPY. So we'll look at that when we get to the option trade part of it. We'll take a look at that. All right. Well, let's check Bitcoin. And we have earnings trades to talk about. Now, Bitcoin reverted to this mean, I guess the lower of the mean. I was liking it better when it was trading around this higher volume node at 97, but it reverted, pulled back to earth, and it's the most traded spot on the chart. Probably be a good buy in Bitcoin too. I don't know, but pick one or the other. They'll probably either both work or both not work. So, all right, what else do we have to look at? Let's look at the model portfolio. All right, we just got a new flash across, down 65 cents at this point. The only saving grace is the market's down 93%. By the market, I mean SPY, or 0.93%. I'm down a little bit more than a 60-40 portfolio, so not having a great morning. Now, GDXY is really doing great for me. If it wasn't up to GDXY, it'd be a really rough morning. My inverse fund is also hanging in there. It's up 13 cents. GDXY is up 20 cents. That's 33 cents of positive that it comes off the big negatives here. Unfortunately, GPTY, it's, market's pulling back, and GPTY is chock full of blue chips, so it's going to pull back too. All right. GPTY is, I call that big data, but I guess GPT, that's what it means. It means AI. So, all right. What else should we look at? Let's look at, I'm trying to think what else we have to look at. I mean, we have all kinds of stuff to look at. I just don't have it open at this point, I think. Let's let me check some stuff here. I can't remember which profile I have this account open in. I always opened the wrong one first. I thought we could maybe check the, well, let's do this. Let's just check the option trades since the market's on. Let's just check those. We did a few earnings trades. Let's see how they're going so far. Okay. Planeteer. Let's see what this one was. I did so many of them. I don't remember. Call, broken wing call. Oh, yes. This was this one. Well, this one, I mean, you know, this one was an easy 30% in a week. I mean, I guess you could hope for, it doesn't expire till Friday. You could hope for Planeteer to rally, and then you could hold it. I wouldn't do that though. You could hold it and hope it gets back to 123. But I mean, you could do that. If you're wrong and it overshoots, you could end. I don't like turning a winner into a loser. I'd say just take this off and do another one. But anyway, I don't know if anyone, probably no one did that. I did that at like 259, but anyway, it's whatever. So let's look. I did a more serious one, and it's probably not doing great. Oh, this was the neutral one. Okay, we did three of them on. I forgot we looked at three of them on Planetary: a neutral, a bearish, and a bullish. Okay, well the neutral one put on for a credit, but that one we need the market to rally a little bit on the neutral one. Let's see here. Neutral earnings trade. Yeah, that's down $43 because it went too far for neutral. I hate freaking those kinds of trades. I thought we had a 3-leg on PLTR. Yeah, bullish earnings. This will be a 3-leg, and of course, this one's down $717. To be fair, if there's any saving grace, this one stood to make the most if they had hit. This one had the most risk, and sure enough, it's down the most. You know, and so anyway, all right. Well, they don't always work out, but you could hope for a rally. All right. Let's look at what else do we have any other earnings stuff that I was looking for? Let's look at the protection for next week or whatever. Let's look at oh yeah, HIMS. I forgot. Okay, so HIMS, we did a 3-leg also, and we hit the middle section of the 3-leg. So kind of the consolation prize, but it's, you know, it's the consolation prize. But I mean, if the market rallies, we'd still be in good shape. And we can, you know, and there's a huge buffer. We could hang on to this. I mean, the HIMS has to drop 20% to mess this trade up. If we wanted to play for a rally, we could maybe think about it with something like this. Anyway, all right. I say when you hit those little ones, just take them off and put on a new one. There's plenty of ones going on for this week. All right. So let's talk about some other stuff. Let's get the buffer report open. Let's look at ULTY verse, the GPTY verse. I spent too much time the other day fixing that, so it worked. So I darn sure want to check it out. Maybe it's in this tab. How are you guys doing this morning? I'll check. I need to check the comments. I should do a lot of stuff. That's the story of my life, right? No, but seriously, all I need to do is sign my iPad in to my Ghost. I have a Ghost YouTube account, not a Ghost, a burner account. Sign into my burner. Oh, it's on one of these back. You know, it's one of these alternate accounts. Well, anyway, I could just have that open and be looking at the comments the whole time. Wouldn't that be such a wonderful thing? I really need to do that. All right, well, good, because you guys aren't talking that much this morning, and that's fine. What's up? What's up, Michael? How are things going in the Philippines? It's pretty late there, right? Yeah, it's probably midnight or something. Midnight at the Oasis. All right, let's look at GPTY. I'll stop being silly. Michael, did you get a chance to see my video this morning? The funds are called Q Up and Q Down, and pretty interesting. All right, let's check this out. All right, what's up the most? Look at this, the Fire Fund. The Fire Fund, and it does this a lot of times. Let's just look at this fund. We don't talk about this fund a bunch enough. It's a fund of funds. and it's a wealth builder. So this is their growth fund, and that's impressive for a growth fund to be up today. So what do they have in their portfolio that makes them up? Yeah, because they really are up half a point. They have SoFi. Does SoFi have earnings? Well, I guess we'll just hover on it. What we can see here. Now, SoFi's down a little bit. They have the Madison ETF Trust. Ethan was, or somebody was asking me about a Madison Trust. There's one that's down. They also own the green bond, the short duration green bond, Bitcoin and gold. That one is actually up 1.2%. So that's helping. World Gold Trust. Yeah, they have some other gold stuff. Academy Veteran Impact. Anyway, interesting fund. And they have Tom Lee's fund in there, Granny Shots. I mean, residential REITs. I don't really know much about REITs. And a lot of people say they don't make great investments or whatever, but I just like the fact that income is derived, a rental income on a mall or something is derived from kind of a different part of the economy than just typical other than stocks. I mean, a stream of income off a skyscraper or something is, to me, seems like it should be valuable for diversification's sake, if nothing else. Have you guys heard about this one yet? I'm weaving, I know I am. From YieldMax, RentT, RNTY. They basically invest in REITs and sell covered calls. It's a Target 12 fund, and well, they're killing it. Anyway, but most people will say, hey, if you're going to invest in real estate, just go and invest in it yourself. Don't buy REITs. Kind of the same thing people say about bond funds, and probably kind of the same thing that some people think about YieldMax or whatever. But especially with real estate and stuff, just that's what I've heard anyway. I'll listen to what you guys say. You got any real estate, Michael, over there in the Philippines? You got any rent houses? Never had a rent house. All right. But anyway, so that's RentT. Okay, so I'm going to weave back into my lane. What else is up? But that fire fund, you could do worse. It's a fund of funds, and it doesn't have the normal stuff in it. I didn't see anything with Planeteer or NVIDIA or, AI or anything like that. So it's interesting. All right. YQQQ, you got to love that. That's a pointer. I got to love it. It's the only thing that's freaking up today. USOY also up. I heard oil was made a low for the year or low for 365 days or something low. Oil's been doing poorly. But let's just look at oil. Or we're going to look at USO as our proxy for oil. Yes, and that is a low for the year or whatever. So what does that tell us? So that tells us it's good that it's not inflationary, but it means the economy's, it means it causes another problem we don't want. Anyway, all right, well. All right, on to GPTY. So let's, I guess let's look at the worst one too. SFAL. Come on, SFAL. You do this to us every day. I mean, every day. To be fair, Feed and 5E do it to us a bunch also. Feed and 5E and SFAL and ZVOL. Not so much ZVOL lately, but SFAL just every day. Anyway. All right. It's the fund that's up the most also, lots of times on the rebound. So wasn't it up like 7% last week? I mean, or one of those bounce back days? Don't we think they might even buy some futures or something? I forgot what we ever decided on that. But in any event, they're getting killed today. All right. Let's look at this. Let's look at the yield max buffer. Then we'll look at these individual stocks. All right, boy, PLTR. I mean, we talked about that. It just looks bad on here. It wasn't really too bad. We were watching it last night, and it was trading at 65 or something, wasn't it? Did it not? Maybe those were just wide bid ask prints or something. I swear to God, on the nighttime show, the afternoon show, it was trading really low. So to only be down 10 or 15%, I mean, that's nothing. All right, I'm going to weave one more time, but I just wasn't paying attention to this. I'm sorry. Well, actually, we'll just do this. Well, no, watch this BLTR. I just couldn't believe this is just, if you like patterns, chart patterns and stuff, and I didn't realize it had done this, but this last rally went pretty much to the freaking penny almost. Double top, just, oh my gosh, in hindsight, that looks so easy. Next time I see that, I'm going to sell a call option or buy a put or something. Man, that looks so easy. Anyway. All right. So Planeteer obviously having the worst day. OARC is once again pulling a Menendez brother, and it's beating the parents on the down. You know, that's not good. As is Abney. Now, Abney was up the most yesterday, or Abney was one of the ones that was beating the parents by the widest margin. So it's whatever. These are all going to be down because it is a down day. Not for gold, though. Yeah, gold's up 2.46%, silver's up 2.9%, copper 1.8%. All right, let's look at the Alti situation. That's allocation. This is today's results. Planeteer is killing us. Palantir, Planeteer. I probably don't say that right. It's Palantir. Do I say Planeteer? Palantir. Anyway. It bothers me how some people say Tesla and they pronounce the S like a Z. You hear it online a bunch, Tesla. But I pronounce stuff wrong all the time. And like I've been pronouncing Planeteer wrong. Or it's not Planeteer. Gosh. Anyway. All right. Well, if it wasn't for HIMS, I mean, HIMS is doing great this morning, and so is China. Baba and HIMS are holding up their end of the bargain for sure. For sure, they're doing a good job. I didn't update this. I don't think they're still overdrawn. I wasn't really worried about that anyway, but this is updated. The allocations, I didn't update last night because I was working on that new video, but I'm just going to trust that Jay and them took care of the overdraft or whatever, took care of the accounting issue. But as far as the actual stocks they have, LFGY is down 1.5%. You know, or their average stock's down a little bit less than that, but LFGY is down 1.5%. So they're actually strong today, and they're actually stronger than GPTI, right? Or GPTY. Hang on, let's look here. Well, yeah, they are stronger than GPTY. They're only down 1.5. GPTY is down 1.7. Gosh darn it, Planeteer. All right, well, what you gonna do? Chippyverse. We check out the Chippyverse. That's the allocations as of the day before yesterday. Boy, what is LSCC? Was it Lamb? Or I looked it up the other day. LSCC. You got to be kidding me. Where do they find these dogs? Where do they find these freaking dogs? Right? Just joking. Oh, it's Lattice Semiconductor. Yeah, okay. Not a dog. Not a dog. It's been a decent growth stock at times. I mean, more than a decent growth stock at times. Let's pull up a monthly chart of it. It's been a decent growth, growth stock. So anyway, all right. Well, that's fine. They're just trying to get exposure to the entire sector. They got everything here. All right. Is there anything you guys want to talk about? Is Ethan here? Something that there's probably funds I need to talk about. So it's 10:12 p.m. Okay, I said midnight. I was a little bit wrong. So foreigners, so you're an immigrant, are not allowed to own properties here. Oh, you can buy a condo. Okay. I hear sometimes that people that buy, that invest in, and buy condos in Belize or something is like an investment or timeshares. I didn't know if you could do that. as an investment. Like, in other words, could you buy a duplex and you could live on one side and then you could lease out the other? Hims is getting squeezed hard. Yes, correct. Well, let's look at Hims real quick. Let's look at this. I hope they don't squeeze this thing too hard. I mean, it's liable to freaking explode, you know? My gosh. This stock's an amazing stock. I would have never even heard of this if it wasn't for Planeteer, because I don't watch CNBC. I don't care about individual stocks. I just watch the indexes all day long. But then when I started following Jay and Alti, it was Alti that got me into this. I mean, I've heard of Hims. They have the commercials. I've seen them on TV, but I didn't know there was a public company. Anyway, but yeah, this thing's amazing. It seemed like there was one point in time when it was up 10% for 10 days in a row. I mean, it seemed like that. And then it was back here. I mean, so that would have been January of this year. I mean, these short squeezes are fun. We can put three legs a decent way to play a short squeeze, because generally the vol's super elevated. Well, maybe we'll talk about that in a second. Let's see what else we have to look at. All right, but yeah, Hims is getting squeezed for sure. Just want to touch base with you guys and see what you guys are doing. But I think I promised someone maybe we'll do an AMD 3-leg or something, and I'll give it to you. Or is there any 3 legs that you guys want to do? I could do them real quick. Yeah, so I'm going to look into those funds now. Yeah, that is crazy. It was down 7. I wonder if somebody's position got blown out. And that's kind of what I'm thinking. Maybe a fund had a bunch and they got their margin call. So before the market, that was settled. It went down or whatever. And then, of course, the opposite, and then, of course, that guy just wants to shoot himself because the price is right back to where it was and he's out at the lower price. I don't know that's what happened, but I wouldn't be surprised, because Hims is a hot money type stock, kind of like GameStop. But GameStop and Hims, those can be decent. I remember the 3-leg can be a decent way to play a meme stock, because you give yourself a buffer and you give yourself a little income. But yeah, lots of times it doesn't take off. But if you happen to be on the time that it takes off, I'm saying because of the elevated vol in meme stocks, you can usually put on a 3-leg at a pretty advantageous price. Maybe we'll look at that. All right. While I'm here, so I don't forget, I'm going to look at PBP real quick. But we'll do the options if there's anything that you guys know of that's coming up that you want to see. I was just thinking AMD. It doesn't have to be bullish. We can do neutral or bearish. I mean, it's, maybe Planeteer is going to start. Maybe that's setting a new trend and companies are going to start missing. Okay, so this is a buy right. So this is standard. This is standard. And I just remember I've looked it up before. And I thought it was a put buy right because of the symbol, but they actually, I believe it's just synthetic covered calls. They pay about 10%. It's just one of these funds you never hear of. They do the same things. There's another one called First Trust. What is it? FT something FTSI. No, gosh darn it. But anyway, there's funds out there that we don't talk about, and it's usually what happens is because they get 9 or 10% dividend, and there's just too many other people in that category. If I was going to get something in that category, I mean, I agree with Victoria. That GPIQ is tough, or I really like triple QI or SPY. But anyway, so if I wanted something in that category, lots of other choices. This one I couldn't really find anything that distinguished it. But it's probably just for people that have been with that company forever. Every company has a covered call product. They you have to, and everyone has a hedged equity product. So all right, let's look at the second one. Okay, speaking of hedged equity, because I looked this up yesterday, HEDJ is hedged equity. HED is hedged, and J is Japan. So it's some kind of Japan hedged equity fund. So once again, something that I don't need exposure to, but anyway, it's they're all interesting. All right. Let's look at the earnings calendar. We'll just see what's coming up. What's the most liquid 1 or 2 stocks coming up? I always get comments that people like when I put on do this, because I think people do it also, and they hope they didn't do Planeteer. Still, though, the strategy, though, is designed to minimize risk. I mean, if it would have been a bad situation and Planeteer would have gone to 60, you'd been damn glad you did the 3-leg instead of selling a put or other kind of more typical selling a strangle, other more typical earning strategies. Anyway, all right. So after the bell, we have, AMD and SMCI. Okay, that's plenty of liquidity right there. We have ARM and APP tomorrow. Now, what about the morning? Disney, Uber. Disney's just too woke. They're so woke, I won't even buy their derivatives. And I'm just joking. All right. I am totally joking. All right. I mean, they are probably pretty woke, but it's whatever. All right. So let's do this. AMD's usually we can get a good one. If, like I say, if you'd rather it be a bearish one, just let me know. But we'll just do a bullish. We could also do straddle strangle swaps. I've done those for earnings. We can do anything you guys want. Also, we're going to talk about buying the dip. As soon as I do this trade, I'm going to let's pick a stock. Let's buy the dip. All right. So let me show you how my process, my thinking goes on it or whatever. How I'm going to choose how far out to go, and maybe it'll help someone. I don't know. Maybe it won't. I hope it does though. All right, so what's going on with this one? 76% chance of profit, 8.6% break even, $116 on $683 risk. It's really good in the income department. You probably scoot it out a little bit more even, but sometimes I like the more income. Oh, but I forget. This call is too close. Let me scoot it in a couple strikes. It was out there too far where it wasn't going to help us, except in the most extreme cases. Now where I have it, it'll help us maybe 10, 12% of the time, something like that. And another way to know that is you can look at the delta. It's a 19 delta. So it means it gets in the money approximately 19% of the time, or finishes in the money approximately 19% of the time. So 1 in 5 shot at that. If you move this out here, that you're just spending money, then it never kicks in. But if you move it too close, it kills your income. So anyway, I just move it to the first standard deviation mark, but now we have to look at this again. Now we've messed up our income. So now it's $90 on 910. That's not bad. Let's scoot that one in. $52 on, let's go in one more. Yeah, I like that kind of math. More than $100 on less than 1,000. I mean, that's 6.5%. We lost a little bit of buffer here. Oh, shoot, it's on the wrong week. We want this to be this week for sure. So that'll make it cheaper or a better deal. There's more liquidity. All right, now that's it. All right, that's the trade. It's bullish, though. Don't do this unless you're bullish on AMD and also unless you don't have any better ideas of your own. These aren't the only ideas for earnings trades. That Tasty Trade has some of the best content. You go watch the guys on Tasty Trade, and I bet you all of them have more sophisticated or a lot of them probably have more sophisticated and better trades than I do, than I just showed you. But do your research. I mean, it doesn't hurt you to look and get ideas from people, but there's a million ways to do that. So I would only do that trade if you're bullish on AMD. And if you don't have a better idea for earnings yourself, if you know how to if you want to do your own strategy, if you want. All right. So let's do this though let's do a neutral one also. In case anyone's a bear on here. Wonder if we should go neutral to bullish or neutral to bearish. Let's do neutral to bearish. I mean, so this is it's, oh, this one's a debit trade. I could switch to calls. It'd be a credit trade. And I don't know why I didn't do that. Switch to calls. Switch to calls. There's no difference between calls and puts, right? I mean, there is, but there isn't put call parity. It's the same thing. You do it for credit this way. All right. Well, there we have it. Now that right there, $137 credit on, that's 33%. And all you're hoping for, if you do this trade, is that the price stays the same or goes down, or at least doesn't go up more than 4%. You just have to have it staying under 102. So anyway, I'm going to save this for you bears in the audience. So it's not really a bearish trade, but it's a more conservative trade. Anyway, and I'm going to give that to you guys as well. Did I put the other one in there, or did I forget to do that? I think I forgot to do that. Hey, Summer Man, what are you doing? Anyway, I love doing these trades. I hope you guys like it as well. All right, so there's the trade. There's the trade I just did. And no one's going to really do that trade anyways. Anyone that knows how to do a 3-leg probably saw my strikes and is doing it themselves. So I'm not going to post it, unless anyone wants me to. Okay, Summer Man, queue up and queue. Now we got to stop and talk about important stuff, because Summer Man's talking about my video this morning. I'm just joking. Queue up and queue down was very good. Great job. And thanks for work on it. Well, thank you for watching it, Summer Man. All right. So let's talk about buying the dip again. I want to show you guys, and I'm going to go buy whatever strike we decide on. I'm going to buy as soon as I get out of here. And I'm also going to, while I'm in Tasty Trade, I'm going to fix the freaking, I won't come back on here until I fix my model account with the new allocations. Anyway, so let's just talk about this. So let me show you what I'm thinking. So we use SPY. We could also use Qs. Sometimes I do use Qs, but I just love the Qs. Okay, so this is a 30-minute chart. Well, that's a pretty ugly gap from this morning. So I haven't even put this on here. We all actually, let's look at this one. I bet this gap doesn't make it the day, though. Well, we'll see. But if this gap makes it past a day or so, then the longer it's alive, that the more bearish it is. All right. But still, though, what I was thinking on, let's look at SPY. I like the way the SPY market profile looked a little better. God, they've already bounced. Jiminy criminy. But that's fine. I'm not going for this kind of bounce. I'm going for that this is, that it's going to go to the next. This is going to make a low, then it's going to make a higher high. So the next trading range up is 573. It's been a while since we were in it. We were in there early March, but so let's get out. Let's do this. Let's get out option strat. Let's just build a long call. All right, so 573 is the target. So what I do is I look at this. This is the probability cone up here. So this is for Friday. For Friday's expiration, the one standard deviation move, 2.2% away, is at 573. All right. Well, I'm trying to think the way I'm going to do it. If I'm going to do a 3-leg or just buy now, but it's just buying the dip. Because I have to get the real thing that I'm going to have to get the same thing I'm going to get. So let's just do this maybe. Well, I don't know. Screw it. Hey, here's this. Just that option. It's buy the dip. That's good enough. If it goes up, you'll do fine on that. Buy the dip. That's my buy the dip. All right. Let's see what else we have to talk about, and then I can let you guys get out of here. But I just wanted to make sure we had an earnings trade on AMD. we can look at whatever else Ethan wants to talk about. Hey, what is up, Mark? I appreciate you being here. LABD. Okay. LABD. So this is going to be biotech. Oh, it's okay. Direction, biotech, triple leverage biotech. I thought that was lab O, but yeah, lab D. Well, I mean, triple leveraged. I mean, this is just these kinds of things just don't interest me because I'm generally like when they sell options more than when they buy options. I mean, I like to buy options in my own account, but the buying option strategies I can do myself. The selling option ones are the more, the ones I'm more interested in. But, this one's up year to date 15.5%. So you got to like that. I mean, how much money do they have under management? They don't have as much as they used to. They used to have about 200. Now they have about 50. They lost 3/4 of their assets under management. But biotech, it hasn't probably not going to be a great time for scientific, biotech type, especially related to vaccine type innovation the next 4 years, possibly. Maybe that's what people are thinking about. And who knows? And maybe I'm wrong also. You want to talk about buy the dip, though. If you wanted to buy the dip, you wanted to buy the dip, now would be the time in this one. I mean, that's your classic 3-bar reversal right there. And then anyway, that's probably why Grateful Trader's looking at it. He's probably thinking about buying the dip, I bet you anything. He's thinking about buying that old dip. Let's see how the model portfolio is doing. Now that the market's bouncing a little bit. Max's model over here, fourth from the right, down 39 cents. Doing better than the SPY, doing a little bit worse than the 60/40. GDXY is my saving grace. All right, guys. Well, if you guys don't have anything else to talk about, which is fine, I'm going to go do those two things I promised. I'll be back at the end of the day and we'll look at the new allocations in the model. And I'll tell you what fill I got, or I'll post the fill on Twitter, whatever. All right, guys. You guys take care. Also, seriously, I have another ETF review to do. When I was researching the funds for last night, Q up and Q down, I actually found some other funds that are just as interesting. And I thought about throwing them into they're managed by the same dude. And I thought about throwing them into the same deal. But then I just thought it's too much. Let's just concentrate on Q up and Q down because those do have a use case. I mean, the more I've been thinking about it, those have a great use case for people that want a YOLO. I just saw my friend. He's a chef, and he's the reason we have that Wagyu steak. He has a restaurant, and he brings the steak and cooks it every Sunday night. Well, anyway, one of my best friends here in Austin, and it'd be perfect for him. He knows how to trade options, and he trades future, and has traded futures, and has traded options, knows how to do all of it. But he's busy and stuff. I could see him, worried about a number, and So anyway, there are use cases for people that it's not only for people that don't know how to trade options. Sometimes you don't want to. Wonder if you don't want to worry about picking a strike, or wonder if you don't want to. The hardest thing about an option is managing it. You buy it at 2. When do you sell it? Do you sell it when it gets to 3? Do you sell it when it gets to 4? Do you sell half your position when it gets to 4? That's where the money's made, is the exit, not the entrance. The entrance, the exit's where it happens. And I've never found any way to deal with exits other than doing what these guys are doing, and they just hold it till the end of the day. It settles at what it settles at. Then so there's no management in this at all. And really there's no management in triple QI either. You guys also know, I was talking about this in Discord, but in case you aren't in my Discord, hey, Sean, I'll look at those in just a second. In case you aren't in my Discord, this fund, Q down, every day they take the first strike in the money, or at the money, but the first strike, the very first one in the money. So basically at the money, and they buy it every day. NDX options. Well, triple QI sells every day at the same time of day. They could even sell them to each other at 3 o'clock every day or 4 o'clock your time. They triple QI does the opposite trade. It's just like opposite. So really, a person could probably, well, you could use this. You could use this as a tactical hedge. This Q down. Maybe you use it in a combination. Kind of use it like you might use TAIL, TAIL, or something. Some kind of tail risk fund, or something. But anyway, but just for the 1 day YOLOs and stuff, it could 1 or 2 days. Hey, the market's cratering this week. I'm going to buy Q down. Yeah, I could see that. All right. Sean, TTD and TMDX. All right, let's look at those. TTD is Trade Desk, right? I think TTD Trade Desk, yes. Boy, this one's a rocket ship a few years ago, or maybe still is. Let's see here. Down 50% year to date. It's not still a rocket ship. It has officially lost its rocket ship status. I just don't watch individual funds much. For an earnings trade, maybe this one, I'm trying to think, this one might be, I didn't know if that's why Sean was asking if you're interested in it, maybe for an earnings trade. Oh, here, as of today, this morning, it was the bearish trade of the day somewhere from, well, that's, and what was the other one? TMDX. Okay, now TMDX is one we talk about in Discord. Not I talk about, that my guys in Discord talk about. One of them discovered it. It was, I forget who it was, but anyway, and it's really one of their friends that knows about it. But anyway, we've been watching it in Discord, and yeah, that's just, I mean, join our Discord. We talk about it sometimes in there, Sean. If you aren't in there, you might, if you're interested in this one, we talk about it, or we talk about a bunch of stuff. TMDX. Oh, it's weird why it says index and it says RUT. I guess that means it. Oh, no, it's on the Russell. I was trying to think. I was thinking benchmark, not index. I saw index, but my mind was thinking benchmark. I was thinking it's not that. All right. Yeah. TMDX. And whoever it was, I forget who it was, has been talking about this for about a couple of months since it was down here at 65, 70, and it's looking really great. So I believe I put it in Discord. Let's go look here. Let's go see how this is doing. I loaded this in Discord. I don't know if someone asked me to, or I just did it. Let's go up symbol. TMDX. It may have expired. No, and I did a kind of long term because the whole theory on this is something that's going to develop. So I was trying to show, that's what I was trying to show. I was trying to show, I think this may compare favorably to owning stock. And so this was October 17th is when we started talking about this. That's when I first started my Discord, was right around October. Okay, so we've been talking about this the whole time. Wow. It was a great call. But anyway, I think I just put this trade in because the problem with these stocks are I just don't want risk down to zero. You do something like this, you cut off your risk at 50, but you still get some upside, and you can see that's the whole idea. And this thing doesn't expire. Oh, it doesn't expire till October. I didn't do it in October, but I did this a couple months ago. Anyway, so, just think this, I mean, not to mention you could take your wife to dinner when you put this trade on, $680, and you could take her to a nice dinner. So anyway, if you guys like that kind of stuff, get in my Discord, because I have option trades and we post them all the time. And I don't know if people follow them. I hope some people follow them. But anyway, so let's see. I also had another TMDX in there. Let's go. There was I don't remember it. I usually do 2 or 3 different options because I'm usually trying to teach people. Oh yeah, here's a longer term YOLO, because that one went out to October. This one goes out to July of next year, I believe. But let me see. And actually, I mislabeled them. The October one was the longer YOLO. This is the shorter one. This goes out to July of this year. And you didn't get as big of a credit because of that. But it doesn't tie up your money for as long at the same time. You only had $410 on $2,500 risk. But this one's working out nicely. And here's what I always love to show about these. Here's the profit and loss graph right now. The profit and loss graph at expiration, where it has that big flat spot, that's cool and stuff, but we usually get out of it before then. All you're trying to do, and especially when somebody hits earnings, all you're trying to do is synthesize the same profit and loss of stock. Right now, today, it's as if we had stock. If it goes up, it's pretty much, and I'm not going to do it now, but I could put stock next to it and we could compare them. It's very close. They're very close, except for stock keeps going down and down and down and down and down to zero. So, all right. What else do we have to talk about, Sean? But thanks for asking me about that. We haven't looked at those trades we haven't looked at those trades in a while. And really the best, I gave another long-term one out that I just love. Let's just go check on it. It was a Tesla one, but it was months ago when Tesla was down. I was just thinking, this thing's got to bounce, basically. I mean, and I think I was also trying to show how to do something, I think. How to do maybe a poor man's covered call or something. But gosh darn it, I call them different stuff, so I mess up the name. Anyway, the Tesla one, and you could still do this, the Tesla one. Well, maybe here it is. Well, this is a different Tesla one, but I really love this Tesla one. This Tesla one, let's look at it. I'm aiming for 320. That's the price the trade is aiming for. Sorry, it's going slow. Really liked it. Anyway, the other Tesla trade, it was months ago. I said, wonder if a person, I think we just bought a leap. It found like a $5,000 leap and just hit buy, and then sold something in the weekly time frame against it. But that's doing well just because Tesla's rallied from where it was months ago. Well, I'm sorry about this. My apologies. As soon as I get control back, we'll just sign off and I'll let you guys go. But I appreciate you being here. Those were good questions. Thank you, Sean, for the question on TMDX. Thank you, all of you guys. Okay, I got control of the computer back. Like I say, barring any questions, I'll let you guys go. But I would like to see if there's any questions. I'm clicking on the tab. It's just not opening. All right. Grateful Trader. Let's look at that real quick in case anyone's still here. For me, it's JEPQ just because I like the NASDAQ, but also it doesn't matter. The NASDAQ and the S&P are basically the same. I mean, are very, very similar anymore because of the way concentrations work. It's not, Not a huge difference. There's a big difference from the Russell to either of those two, but I don't think there's as big of a jump between those two to the Russell. I don't really do the Russell that much. I should. I used to do iron condors on the Russell, even though I hate iron condors just because it seemed to go nowhere, and they didn't even. It didn't even work. So it's one of the reasons I hate iron condors. All right, so real quick, JEP-Q versus JEP-I. For me, it's JEP-Q, but let's just see what the numbers say. And let's go see what the numbers say. We'll see what the numbers say all time, and then we'll also look at just during the pullback. We'll see which one did better during the pullback. And it's going to be JEP-I, but we'll just take a look at it anyway. Boy, JEP-Q is a monster. Look at that thing. So what is this? It's 3 years old, knocking off 9% a year. I mean, and paying like a 9% dividend. Had 9% total return, which the dividend's included in there. So it's not like you get both. Anyway, nice job. Standard answer of mine, JEP-I for a bear market because it's less risky. You could see JEP-I when the market was pulling back. JEP-I was barely affected. Look at this pullback right here. So JEP-I, if you think the market's going down and you're worried about risk on the downside, and JEP-Q if it's rock and roll and risk on. JEP-Q for risk on, JEP-I for risk off. Not financial advice, obviously. None of this is. SPY-I versus FEPI. Well, I guess we could look at that one. SPY-I versus FEPI. Well, I didn't really like iSpy that much when it came out. I mean, I wanted to like iSpy because they did daily options. But I get iSpy and SPY-I mixed up. Once again, I'm weaving over to another lane. But all right, I'll weave back to this lane. SPY-I and FEPI. I mean, that's, FEPI for risk on, SPY-I for risk off. You can just tell by looking at the chart. SPY-I is a lot less risky. And you can also tell by looking at the chart in the good times, you're going to want FEPI, right? That's what it looks like to me. Or you could just allocate a decent portfolio, not, for all times and not worry about it. Yeah. So you want me to look at Omaha? Okay. Well, let's look at Omaha. Was it OMAH? Oh, no, it was OMHA. We'll just compare Omaha to FEPI. When I first got in this business, people loved FEPI. It could not do anything. And SFOL. People loved SFOL. But then now not so much on SFOL. Hang on a second. It's yeah, gosh darn it. I guess Omaha, we'll compare that to FEPI, little FEPI action. Okay, been around since March 5th. That's why I didn't really have anything on it. It's really not this interesting to me. I mean, what's interesting about it is the strategy, but it's, how they use the Buffett stocks to sell options on. But that all depends on how the Buffett stocks do. And Buffett's retiring, and who knows? I don't know. But yes, if you're a Buffett guy, or just if you're a guy that wants something that's a covered call fund, but maybe not on really. But this would be like the ultimate of ULTY. Because ULTY, they take kind of intentionally the hottest mess as possible. And I'm just guessing, and I don't know what's in this, but I'm just guessing Warren Buffett doesn't invest in Mara and Clean Spark. But I guess we could look. But I'm just guessing his top holdings are more like Coke and just fundamentally good stuff. So let's look at the top holdings. So what is it going to be? Coke, probably. what's his other big holdings? That he owned that candy company forever. He owns all kinds of insurance. Top 10 holdings. Okay, well, 10% in themselves or in Berkshire, but then 7% Apple. Oh yeah, American Express is a classic one. VeriSign, Kroger, yes, of course, Kroger. Look at that monster of a stock. Look at that chart there. Kroger's, it's incredible. I just never studied growth stocks. And when I see a growth stock, I'm like, holy cow, where's that stock been all my life? Yeah, I've heard about Kroger for years. People have, in 2021, when I was trading a lot, I did some earnings trades on Kroger and I actually lost. I didn't do great. They have decent options, though. All right. Visa. Yeah, he's a big Visa guy. And, of course, Coca-Cola down here. So, yeah, hard to go wrong with that one. Hard to go wrong with that. It just all depends on what you – there's something for everyone. You know, it's commoditized now, or it has been for a while. Triple QI and Triple QI, we can check that out. Triple QI is going to win that one because I've checked it out before. XRLV, I don't know about XRLV. That sounds like a private equity one, maybe. XRLV or Las Vegas, maybe. Yeah, Las Vegas REIT, maybe. XRLV. X rate sensitive low vol ETF. Okay, so X rate. What does X rate mean? X rate sensitive. So so no rate sensitive stocks in here. Low vol, but no rate sensitive. So no, I guess that'd mean no utilities, probably is what they're saying by that. So low vol, but you can't get anything that's going to get killed if interest rates blow up. All right, well, that makes sense. Let's see what their biggest holdings are. Berkshire, Coke, Republic, Marsh & McLellan, Atmos Energy Company. First Energy, CME Group. Well, that's a good company. You want to talk about a growth stock. Gosh darn it, why didn't I just put all my money in CME Group? Jiminy criminy, look at that thing. Anyway. Then just some other boring stocks. Consolidated Edison. No, it's a great stock. You gotta love it, or it's a great company. I don't know if it's a great stock. Consolidated Edison. I mean, isn't it the power for New Jersey and New York? Tom's. I believe one of my members' fathers worked for. I don't know if it was this one, but worked for a power company somewhere up there on the East Coast. All right, retired from it and everything. Spent a career there, I believe. All right. Well, what else do you guys want to talk about? Oh yeah, Triple QI and Triple QI. Let's look at that. Now you guys know how to. You guys know this dividendchannel.com, right? You can always feel free to do this yourself. If you find anything interesting, take a screenshot and post it in Discord. You know, if you're like, damn, you know this. The most interesting out there, or the only thing I've seen that's really been interesting lately is that the Defiance funds beat even the SPY and all their competition during the pullback. Defiance really performed well during this pullback. But day in and day out, because markets generally go up, the funds that don't do as well during the pullback, like Triple QI, did not do as great during the pullback, but they do better day in and day out. So when we're comparing these, look, the price on Triple QI is $48, and they paid $9 worth of options. It was over more than a year, but that's fine. We're going to compare it just to the other one. Triple QY, reason why it has so much less total return is because its stock was half as much, and it paid 2.5x as much on an option. On a stock, half as much. I mean, on the dividend, meaning the yield is like, well, one of them's 12 and one of them's 60. So it's like 5x, right? Something roughly. So Triple QI, they're creating a big buffer and creating a big income for you. The income, though, comes out of the NAV. It's called NAV depletion. And it happens to triple QI also, but triple QI has a bigger income. So it has bigger depletion. All right. What else? Yeah. Okay. I'm caught up now. All right. Well, guys, I appreciate y'all for being here. And I'll be back, not at lunch. It's already 10. Let's just do an end of the day. And I'll probably come on about 2:30 and because probably by then there'll be more earnings trades we'll think of. Maybe we'll do this from the nighttime. We'll look at one in SMCI. Plus, I really do got to go talk to my brother-in-law, and I want to go buy that option. I want to buy the dip. Like I say, I'm just going to spend half my money because it could pull back further. Spend the other half right there, and then if that doesn't work out, it's one trade, and then that's the trade right there. Okay, so and that's like 5%. I'm going to use 5% of my trading account. And my trading account is about 1% of my net worth. So, anyway. All right, guys. Appreciate y'all for being here. You have a great day. See you.